week's webinar is about STEM. Joe will talk about engineering, Solomar will talk about College of Natural Sciences, and during the presentation, Lay will be moderating the chat. So if you have any questions related to what Jill and Solomar are talking about, to clarifying questions, Leilani will be able to answer them for you, but afterward, we will have question answer time at the very end. So without further ado, I'll hand it off to Jill.
All right, so welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about advising for STEM students. So besides engineering and College of Natural Sciences, there are other STEM majors outside of our colleges that this will also apply to. Go on. If real quick, you could all just write down what your major or what your intended major or what interested majors you have in the chat. I'm not going to address them all, but we just kind of want to see who's here for what, so we can get an idea of what we should focus on maybe a little bit more. Looks like they all belong to you, Solomar.
Let's see.
Civil engineering.
Oh, there, yeah. There's
Let's see, computer science, marine biology, civil, computer science.
Yeah, a good amount of
or sciences.
Okay.
Perfect.
And
okay.
CFAR. Yeah. All right,
okay.
Cool. Thank you. We can move on. Okay, so real quick, mandatory advising is a thing on the UH Manoa campus. So every semester, for at least your first 2 years, you will need to come and meet with an advisor once you start college. And some majors, like engineering, we require everybody to do mandatory advising for the entire time they're in college. So just as a heads up, every semester you should be meeting with an advisor anyway, even if we didn't mandate it. So just go over, your academic goals and your career goals so that we can help you, inform you about your program and things you would be able to get involved in, so that you can make well-informed and appropriate choices, to help you get to where you want to be. And if you are not sure what you want to do, we do strongly encourage everybody to try and declare their major by the time they hit their junior year, so that we can help you guys develop an efficient academic plan and you can, graduate in a timely manner. So if you guys are not sure what you want to do, Leilani from Manoa Advising Center, and Manoa Advising Center is our exploratory advising center. And then there are faculty and college or academic advisors. So there's a bunch of different kinds of advisors you could have on campus. So besides the college or academic advisors like Solomar, Leilani, and myself, there are faculty advisors that are, the professors in your particular fields of interest that can talk to you more about your career path, in the sense that they'll have more information about exactly those interest areas that you have, and help you to get involved in maybe like research opportunities or internships and career type of stuff. There are other advisors on campus too, that work for different student success centers, right? That can help you with reaching out for scholarships or any of the different kinds of particular interest groups you'd be that apply to you as well. So lots of different advising opportunities on campus, and be sure to make use of them each semester. Okay. Another thing that we notice with students that don't quite understand, and it's helpful if you do, is the breakdown of the hierarchy of the university. So the university is University of Hawaii at Manoa. That's where you are going to be attending hopefully in the fall with us. And the university is built of different colleges and schools. So there's the College of Natural Sciences, College of Engineering, College of Education, School of Business, all these different schools and colleges that make up the university. Within each school or college, there are the different departments. And the different departments, for example, I'll talk about engineering since that's my college. There's the electrical engineering department versus the mechanical engineering department. And then even underneath that, within the departments, are all your different major and degree programs. So the Department of Electrical Engineering offers 2 different majors, electrical engineering and computer engineering, but they're both housed under the electrical engineering department. And we offer bachelors of sciences in those. By degrees, your major would be like electrical engineering, but your degree would be the BS, the Bachelor of Science. So for example, on the natural sciences side, physical sciences has mathematics major, but you can get either a Bachelor's of Science or a Bachelor's of Arts, and they are different programs that have different requirements, okay, and can lead to different jobs too. So that's kind of the breakdown of how the university is built of different colleges, and how the different colleges are built in different departments, and how the different departments offer different majors, and how the different majors have different degrees, levels of degrees that they offer. So identify which one you are so that we can help you best plan for what you want to do. And then real quick too, this applies to you no matter what major you're in, whether you're a STEM major or intending to be like a teacher. Your responsibilities as a student. So once you're in college, you know, a lot of things, the responsibilities fall on you. So we're not in high school anymore. We're not going to be chasing you down for lots of things. You got to take responsibility for what you want and what your goals are. And, you know, we're here to help you make it happen. So you do want to make sure you check your UH email regularly for important information from the university, especially in times like now, where you're maybe not on campus anymore, right? We are going to be emailing you all the important information about the university, about the admissions process, what you need to do to get registered, notifications of different deadlines, otherwise you get holds on your account and all those kinds of things. So make sure you're checking your UH email regularly. Not your Gmail, your UH email. Because UH email is actually connected to Gmail, though, you can set it up on your phone or your computer so that you can check it regularly or have easy access to it. So definitely get that done as soon as possible. When you come for your advising appointments, we ask that you guys be prepared with questions and the different documents that maybe we went over in previous appointments. That way there's continuity to what we've talked about, and we can kind of just keep moving along instead of having to backtracking over what we had talked about previously. As different questions come up, you don't have to wait till mandatory advising time to come and reach out to an advisor. You can reach out to us at any time. So whenever you guys got questions, let us know and we will answer them, or we will direct you on to the appropriate office that can. And then using your academic resources. So you guys will over time get familiar with STAR, that's the registration and transcripts program that you guys will be using. Our UH catalog, which has all the different course descriptions about the general education requirements, and the program sheets, which are your actual curriculum for your particular program, for your major. So all the classes you will need to graduate are listed on that program sheet, and all those requirements you're gonna have to check off in order to graduate. So it's an important resource to know about. And then also during advising, what we want to help you do is think about and clarify your academic goals, especially if you're like an incoming freshman or even as a transfer student. If you're not sure what you want to do and where you want to be after you graduate, it's a good time to start thinking about it now, because that'll help you then set your academic goals to get you the kind of degree and the kind of experiences in college that will help you get the career that you want at the end of all of this. And then finally, one of the things that we definitely stress is following through with the recommendations and strategies that we go over during advising. So when we do make suggestions to you that you need to fill out this form, or you should go seek out some guidance from this particular faculty or this different office, don't forget to do it, because if you don't do it, no one's going to do it for you, right? And then you'll be set back potentially. And then taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. So because you're an adult now and you're in college and stuff, this is on you. It's your life and your goals and what you want. So you gotta take responsibility for your own self at this point. So just some reminders. Okay, now getting more into the STEM related part of things. The STEM majors and the colleges that house them offer Bachelors of Sciences and Bachelors of Arts degrees, right? And they have very different math and science requirements. All Bachelor of Science majors will need to complete Calc 1 and 2 typically, and the first general chemistry and the second general chemistry with their labs. with the exception of the second lab for engineering, you don't need that. And then the first physics and the second physics with labs as well. But for Bachelor's of Arts students, so if you're doing that BA in the mathematics, you potentially don't have to do the Calc 1 and 2 and the Chem 161 lab and 162 lab in physics. You might have different requirements. So it really will depend on your major if you're doing a Bachelor's of Arts degree. But if you're doing the Bachelor's of Science, you will definitely need to do calculus and chemistry for sure. So that brings us next to how to start off in the math and the chem. So we have placement exams that pretty much everybody will have to take with some exceptions. So I'm going to go over the math placement exams because it's really critical that anybody going into STEM with a Bachelor's of Science degree start off in the correct math. If you don't, it can potentially throw off graduation. So you might take longer to graduate if we don't get this figured out right away in your first semester or before your first semester so you can get registered. So the math placement exam for engineering and physical science students, you're going to either need to take the general or accelerated calculus tracks. So those tracks listed below in that box are the Math 241 through 244 sequence, or the accelerated math, the Math 251A through 253A. They are the same set of content, they are just split up differently. So the accelerated version of that calculus track finishes the entire sequence of calculus in 3 semesters rather than 4, like in the standard general version. The applied calculus track is not meant for engineering and physical science students. So if you don't place into the 241 or 251A, you will want to start in whatever you place into between Math 140 or Math 134. That's the pre-calculus courses, which will then get you on track for the general calculus track. If you take applied calculus as an engineering or physical science student, it will not count towards your degree and it will not get you into the appropriate next math class. So don't take those. For life science students, it's okay for you pretty much to do any of them. So between the applied, general, or accelerated first course there, the 215, 241, or 251A, it's fine to start with whatever one you place into and would like to take. To take the math placement exam, I have the link down here on the slide. That's the math placement exam website. Right now, everything is online because it has to be. And so your option is to take it through ProctorU online for a $17.50 fee. The math department is currently working on other options to offer the math placement exam for free. So right now they have a few in-person math placement exams right before the semester starts, I think in August. And they are going to socially distance all of you guys through that. And that will be on until we are told otherwise we can't do it. But you probably don't want to wait to August to get your placement exam results because then you won't be able to sign up for your courses. So ideally what you want to do is to try and take the math placement exam now or soon rather, I guess, between this first period listed on the slide. So between March 16th and June 15th, you can take the math placement exam, get your results, and if you are not happy with them and you want to try for a higher score, from June 16th through October 15th, you'll be able to take it again and try for that better score. Okay, but you do need the math placement exam result before you can actually register for your first math class. Then I'll turn it over to Solmar.
Okay. I guess one last thing on the math placement exam before I move. So some physical sciences can actually take the applied track, but again, it really depends on the major, but just check with your advisor to see which one applies to you. Okay. Chemistry. This is another very common requirement for the STEM majors, right? If you're pursuing that Bachelor of Science, you have to take the chemistry placement exam. There are 3 different types of chemistry courses you could be placing into. This first one is Chemistry 161, and that's the General Chemistry 1 sequence. Or you could be placing into the Chem 171, which is Principles of Chemistry, which is geared more towards students who are in engineering or some of those physical sciences that are required to do a chemistry requirement. And then Chemistry 131 is the Introductory to General Chemistry course. So just like math, they do have their own registration period. With chemistry, you can actually take the exam twice for free between March 2nd and August 28th. And you will take it through La Lima, which is going to be one of your first experiences using the online student resource that really you'll use during your entire college career. So La Lima students will, or instructors or professors will upload quizzes. They'll also do like lecture slides. You'll submit assignments on there. So it'll be the first time. So because you can take it twice though, you do have to wait on that second attempt if you don't get into that chemistry course that you're wanting to. So maybe you place into the Chem 161 and you actually want to try and get into the Chem 171. You have to wait 24 hours from that first attempt. Otherwise, your second score will be a score of 0. It'll be invalid. So why would you want to try and place into a higher level of chemistry? You're probably wondering, right? If you're an engineering student, you could opt to do the Chemistry 161, the general chemistry, and then you would be completing another semester of the Chem 162. So 2 semesters of chemistry. But if you place into the Chem 171, it combines those 2 semesters into 1 semester course. So some of the other majors that are within the College of Natural Sciences that can opt to do the Chem 171 are some of our astrophysics majors. But if you still place into like the Chem 131 and you want to try and get into the Chem 161, this also applies to you too, right? And then once you have taken both of the chemistry and the math placement exams, you can't just automatically register. So someone actually has to go in and give you what's called a course override. And there are really 3 types of course overrides that you will encounter in college. The first one is a time conflict. So that one's pretty easy, right? If you're trying to take a class that overlaps with something, then you would need a time conflict override. A prereq error means that you don't have a class that's required to register for that course. So if you place into, let's say, Chemistry 131, but you were trying to register for Chemistry 161, you would get a prereq error because you didn't get that appropriate chemistry score. Same goes with any other classes too. And then the last type of override is a major restriction. So there are certain courses that are offered and you will be able to see them, but it'll say open to global environmental science majors only, open to engineering majors only. So what to do if you are actually registering for a course and you get a prereq error or a major restriction, it depends. So if it's a prereq error, check to see what you're missing, because it might just be that you have to add in another class. Like, let's say you concurrently have to register for the lab while you're in the lecture. That's an easy fix. You just add in the lab. But it also might be that maybe your AP scores didn't come through and you have to take the placement exam, which is why you're getting a prereq error. So yeah. So some of you may also be coming in with AP, IB, or CLEP. Jill mentioned earlier today that we still strongly recommend all of you to take your chemistry and your math placement exams. You're probably preparing to take your last AP scores within the next few weeks, but your scores don't typically get sent to Manoa until July. Incoming students register between the dates of May 20th and 22nd. So if you're not taking those placement exams, you're essentially not registering for courses for almost 2 months. And once your registration date is open, it stays open. It's not just at that one time that you can register. There are, if you Google UH Manoa AP scores, you can see what scores you would need to receive on those AP exams to receive credit for any of those courses you're trying to take in the fall. But ultimately, some of those AP exams, if you're not sure if they're going to count towards your degree, always check with your advisor.
Okay, I did see a bunch of AP questions come up and stuff. So the AP exam results, we will, you should go over it with your advisors. So as we talk about making appointments with advisors and stuff, you should go ahead and do that. Because it's really going to depend on which score you got, which exam you took, and what your major is, on whether or not it really is going to fit. But the chemistry AP exam does cover with I think a score of 4 or higher will get you like Chem 161 or Chem 161 and 162. But your labs you might still need to take. And for the math, you would be able to place potentially into Calc 3 or Calc 2 or Calc 1, depending on your AP exam score, but also whether you took the AB exam or the BC exam kind of thing as well. So it really comes down to a situational thing that you'll need to discuss with an advisor. So, so now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the College of Engineering. So College of Engineering houses these majors that I've listed up on the page. So pre-engineering is the major that we accept students to if they don't quite meet all of our requirements to declare one of the other engineering programs that we have. So it's like a placeholder that you're in the College of Engineering, one of our students, and that you're intending to do like civil or you're intending to do computer engineering. And you will need to satisfy our transfer student requirements then to declare that point, which is basically the freshman curriculum. So it's getting through the first calculus courses, the first physics courses and chemistry courses, and maintaining a 3.0 GPA. But that too is something that you will discuss with your academic advisor or with me if you have questions, and definitely during our first meeting, our mandatory advising meeting in the fall. Engineering science is one of our newer programs. It has 2 different concentrations in aerospace and biomedical. Biomedical is kind of more suited for people intending to go to pre-med or graduate school rather than a degree that would maybe end up in a job right away. And the aerospace program, we are kind of in transition with, so we might be moving that one and making some changes to that. But if you're interested in any of those, you would talk to me about that as well. Civil engineering, construction engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, and mechanical engineering are our main engineering programs. And for all of these programs on our website here that I have listed, we have our curriculum check sheets, which are like the 4-year plans or the program sheets that Manoa has, but it's a little bit more specific to how we look at you guys in engineering. So it's an engineering specific form. It has all of the classes that you need to graduate, including all of the general education requirements and the engineering requirements. So everything on those check sheets, when you check that box off, you'll be able to graduate. We also have an incoming freshman guide on that page too. So things that I'm going to say next are all in that guide. So whether you're a transfer student or an incoming freshman, it's good to read through it because it explains how the general education requirements work specifically for engineering students. And it will explain to you the importance of the math and the chemistry placement exams. And it will also break down for you which scores you would need to get credit for the right things to take whichever math or chemistry that you need to take first. So a lot of the questions that you guys are asking will be explained actually in that guide if you read through it. We also have some intro videos from departments made welcome videos from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and so on. And then looks like my internet connection is shaky. And then finally, one of the most important things on that page is going to be the advising appointment and contact information. So how to set up your appointment is listed there. Okay, so it's an important website, write it down. And normally, if you were here in person, you would come to our Student Academic Services office in Holmes Hall, 250. And that email address is the email you can contact if you have any questions in the meantime. I didn't list our phone number since we're not really answering phones at the moment. Okay, we can move on. Thanks. Okay, so the general education requirements, the way it works down specifically for engineering students, I'm just gonna go over it very quickly. Again, it's written all up in that incoming student guide that's on our website. Okay, so if you miss anything I say or I go over it too fast, details are written up in that document, and then you can make an appointment with me too. But I like to go over it because engineering has a lot of things built in specifically that students tend to take in their first semester that then don't count towards the degree. So for example, in the diversification requirements section, the diversification arts is required as COMG 251 because all engineering students have to take a public speaking course. So if you end up taking an arts class, like art, I don't know, 101 or something that is a DA, that will not be useful to you at all. It will double count over this requirement that we're going to make you do anyway. So in order to avoid doing things like that, it's good to know how our gen ed works specifically for engineering. So this is a breakdown of it. There are 4 types of general education requirements at Manoa: foundation, diversification, the focus requirements, and the Hawaiian or second language requirement. For the foundation requirements, everybody in engineering needs to do English 100 unless you are a second language student, in which case you'll need to do like ELI courses. So ELI 100. For the quantitative reasoning, the FQ, that will be covered by your requirement to do calculus. So whether you get AP credits or take the actual class from that 241 or 251A, that will get you the FQ requirement. The FGs are the global multicultural perspectives, and those are global history and cultural courses of many different options that are listed in the catalog and in STAR. So you guys get to choose whichever ones you want for that. Diversification requirements, the social sciences, engineering requires an economics course. So you're gonna have to do one of your social sciences as one of these econ classes listed, and the second one will have to be a non-econ course, like psychology or sociology, something like that. But it's up to you for that second one, your choice. The Arts Humanities Literature Group, the DA, DHDL. The DA is covered by COMG 251, the public speaking class that all engineers have to take. So this one is not your choice, but your choice between either a humanities or literature course of any type is up to you. The natural sciences for engineering under diversification is covered by your program already. You're not going to need to do any sort of biology like a normal, I guess, or another student would have to do for the DB. We don't require it. So if you look at the program sheets and you notice there's no DB on there, that's why. Engineers don't have to do one, okay? The Hawaiian or second language is waived for all engineering students. So you do not have to take any second language courses at all, okay? And for the focus requirements, the Hawaiian Asian Pacific Issues course is your choice, whatever you want to do. People often double dip it with a social science or humanities or literature class, and we can talk about that more during an advising appointment. The ethics and oral communication are built into all of our engineering programs. So do not go find an ethics or oral communication course on your own. It will be also kind of a non-applicable credit at that point. The writing intensives, all 5 are built in. So we require 5 at Manoa. All 5 are built into civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and computer engineering. And for construction and engineering science, 4 out of the 5 are built in. And for double E, 2 to 4, depending on what you choose, are built in already. So we usually suggest finding 1 or 2 on your own for those majors. So quick rundown. I know you probably flew over your head, but that's okay. It's in the guide too. Okay, move on. So planning your first semester as a freshman in engineering, many of your decisions are going to be based on the placement exam and the AP exam results. So what you most likely what your schedule is going to look like is whatever appropriate level math based on your AP or your placement exam results, the appropriate level chemistry based on AP or placement exam results, and then a couple of gen ed classes to get you to full time. Those gen ed courses are the ones that I just talked about on the previous slide, like English 100 or the economics or the speech class or the FG courses. So That's generically what a schedule for incoming freshmen looks like. But please visit our website listed here, read through that freshman guide and work on your placement exam results, and then make an appointment to talk to me to finalize a good schedule specific to your situation based on whatever exams you ended up taking and what scores you got. Okay. So that's for freshmen. For the transfer students in the audience, many of your decisions are going to be based on the transfer credit evaluations, okay? So when you apply and your transcripts get sent to Manoa, they are evaluated by the different departments and then entered into the system by admissions. And so what I want you to do is to check your STAR to see if your transfer courses have been evaluated and if they're all listed there. If they're not, I'm going to have a really hard time helping you figure out what you should be doing first, okay? So if they're not there, it means that admissions is working on it, or there might be some kind of pop-up that says that you haven't turned in your transcripts, in which case go ahead and do that. If you see on that listing in STAR that any of your courses have this detailed syllabus required written in, it means that we didn't have enough information to decide what course equivalent we're going to give you. So please send a copy of a detailed syllabus for that class to the admissions office so that we can go ahead and put that in. If you have not ever taken a calculus or pre-calculus course at a previous institution or college that you've been at, go ahead and take the math placement exam, okay? If you have taken a pre-calc course or a Calc 1 course or Calc 2 or whatever it is at your other institution, it's going to depend, your next class is going to depend on that credit evaluation. So wait for that to come in, basically, okay? If you have not taken a general chemistry course at your previous college or university, go ahead and take the chemistry placement exam as well. If you did take a general chemistry or what you thought was a general chemistry, go ahead and check STAR for that transfer course equivalent again, and make sure that you got credit for like Chem 161 or something like that. So after you do all of that, or while you're doing all of that, it would be good to also make an appointment with me so that we can go over your particular situation, because especially for transfer students, it can be all over the place as far as your course evaluations. Sometimes we can talk about petitioning to substitute certain courses if they didn't clean retransfer as the equivalent of our UHM course, or we could talk about getting them re-evaluated based on a more detailed syllabus as well. So definitely, if you got questions about how your credits transferred in and what you should be taking next, go to our website and make an advising appointment with me. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Jill. You did a great job explaining. I talk a little bit about transfer too, but I think you see a lot of the things that are with College of Engineering are applicable to College of Natural Sciences. So, hi again, I'm Solimar. I'm one of the advisors for Natural Sciences. We have a lot of different majors, about 13 of them. So I listed them and I separated them based off of the physical sciences and the life sciences. So a lot of you may be like biology, or I saw some marine biology, computer sciences in there. So our advising unit is called the Student Academic Success Center. And we do two different types of advising. The first one is dual advising, which Jill mentioned earlier, that you might have a faculty advisor who you meet with. So everyone that's within the physical sciences does dual advising. So you will have a major advisor and you'll also have a college advisor. That college advisor is the person that will help you get all of those general education and graduation requirements, while your major advisor does more of that career building and you can talk to them about like internships. And life sciences, we do everything with the Student Academic Success Center. We also refer as SASSY. So I'm one of the major and college advisors for everyone within life sciences, but I also do college advising for information and computer sciences majors. Yeah. Okay, so some information that is located on our website, you should definitely check it out. We have two different types of incoming student timelines similar to the College of Engineering. We have them month by month breakdown of things that you should be doing before you're coming to Manoa, including links on those placement exams and when you should be taking them. There's stuff about how to get a course override. So if you specifically need an override for something from the math department, it'll tell you how to do that. We also include helpful things like tutoring resources that you'll be using in the future, opportunities like jobs, scholarships, and internships that we know that are a little bit more specific to students within our major. And most importantly, appointment scheduling, because that's what you're probably going to use the most out of our website. Okay. So every college of natural sciences versus college of engineering, again, has different general education requirements. You saw how many majors we had. It is a botany major is completely different than a computer science major. So you really have to meet with your advisor to discuss. As a botany major, you have biology courses that are already built in there, so you don't have to worry about that DB. But as a computer science major, you do have to add in a DB. So you'll be taking one biology course before you actually graduate. The natural science requirements, those all really vary again. And then we mentioned the Hawaiian and second language requirement. Everyone that's within the College of Natural Sciences has to complete up to a 202 level in one language. So that's about 4 semesters worth of a language. A fun fact, UH Manoa offers the most languages in the US. So if you've ever wanted to learn Ilocano, UH Manoa's campus is the campus for you to learn it, or some of those least common languages that you can, I mean, buy Rosetta Stone, but you can do it within your college degree. And yes, so your college advisor is going to be the person that you'll go to talk about, how am I going to add a DB, or how am I going to add in what's an ethics requirement? Do I get that fulfilled within my major, or do I need to worry about finding a class that will give me that? So because all of the majors are so different, the first semester really varies based off of your major and also on the placement of your math and your chemistry. So I tried to break it down as best as I could. Most of all of our majors have to take a level of math. So whichever math is appropriate for you that you place into, you'll probably be taking a math course. If you're required to take chemistry, you will also be adding in a chemistry class. And that English 100 is there again because all students that are incoming have to take an English course. And then I put a gen ed because we usually have you taking a gen ed with your first major or your first semester. And then for our computer science majors, you will likely be registering for ICS 111 or ICS 141. So that's Intro to Computer Science and discrete math for computer science. Or if you're like an astrophysics major, you might be taking Astro 101. And for everyone within our School of Life Sciences, so that's our bio majors, our marine bio, if we have any microbiology majors or botany majors, you'll likely be taking that biology 171 with the lab. And that's the first biology course that you'll take that's in a sequence of 2. So I'll note for anyone that is registering for biology 171, the concurrent prereq, meaning you have to register for this class at the same time, is either chemistry 131 or chemistry 161. So that chemistry placement exam also affects this biology class. If you don't take that, you will not be able to register for essentially 3 courses. And that is a large lump sum of your first semester. Okay. And for transfer students, it really is different for each student, depending on maybe you were an art major before and now you're aspiring to study marine biology. You likely will be needing to take chemistry or math if you were not required to do that at your previous college. So just remember, you might need to take the placement exams too. Jill mentioned if you have your transcripts and if the course doesn't come perfectly over to Manoa, you really, really need to meet with an advisor. One, because there might be a class that we can actually add in the fall semester that could help you push your graduation timeline faster. Or we can discuss like maybe if we can ask if this class would count towards something else. And so then I included a short video to kind of show like our website so you guys can see. It really just goes over the top, like it has resources, and right now we're doing drop-in hours. So if you guys want any quick questions, you can meet with an advisor. There is the fall timeline. Again, it breaks it month by month. You can learn about all of the different things. You can click on it, learn about the placement exams. I highly recommend it. The freshman and the transfer one is pretty similar. And then you'll learn about your advisors. So again, you have a major and a college advisor depending on who you are. So here for information computer sciences, you have 2 separate types of advisors. So Gerald Lau is one of the major advisor, and then you have 3 different types of college advisors that you can select from. And then of course, contact us. We're here. We want to talk to you. We're here all summer. And because there's so many different majors within NatSci, there's so many ways that you can use and grow as a student here. So these are just some of the 4 very broadly topics that we see a lot of our students go through. Really, as an incoming student to Manoa, I hope you're excited to start this journey. Make sure you come talk to us. We want you to get internships. We want you to get involved in research in your first semester, or maybe there's a lab that you heard about, or you Googled something and you saw that you wanted to do coral research at Coconut Island. Come talk to us. We can show you all of the different resources to get you connected to those people. So I included some of our information again. We also have an Instagram account for any of you guys that are on social media. It's SASC, so that's Student Academic Success Center _UHM. That Instagram is run by our front desk workers, and we post all of the workshops, scholarships, internships, fun facts, and things really that you would want to keep abreast of. So I highly recommend that you follow us.
Thank you, everyone. During the chat, we're seeing a lot of the different majors that students are looking into pursuing here at UH Manoa. And also there's been some questions about if your major wasn't discussed today, how do you connect with your academic advisors? Or also right now in the chat, there's questions about, I actually want to change my major, how do I connect or do the paperwork or meet with an academic advisor? So I really want to share this wonderful resource. It's called our advising guide, and it's manoa.hawaii.edu/undergrad advising. Essentially, the majors, as mentioned, there's over 100 majors, minors, and certificates, and you can be exploring majors by category. So today we're looking at STEM majors. And then here's the advising guide. And so, for example, if I wanted to look at other STEM majors, it's thinking. And so let's say we actually had some students who said that they were wanting to pursue KRS, Kinesiology and Rehabilitation Science. And when you click on, again, this is the advising guide. So, and I'm sorry, it's so slow. It'll bring you up to how to contact the advisors that work with the students in those majors. And so then you can go straight to their website. You have their email and phone. It's also like for the College of Education, it'll connect you with how to make an appointment with an advisor there. So the advising guide, again, it's an excellent resource if you're navigating and wanting to explore. For the students who may be wanting to change your major, it's also important that you meet with advisors in the major that you're planning to change into. If you want to talk story with a general advisor, it can be someone like me if you want to learn more about the various advising or major opportunities at Manoa. My office is actually here. We are the Manoa Advising Center for exploratory students, meaning exploring, undecided, maybe you're on the fence for multiple majors. So again, you can make a connection and meet with us at the Manoa Advising Center.
So thank you so much for coming to our webinar, and a lot of you stayed the whole time, so thank you for that. Thank you so much for Jill and so Leilani for helping me organize this whole thing. So thank you so much. So thank you guys, and thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye, thank you everyone.
Bye.